Stanley Cup playoffs come to Toronto. The Maple Leafs hope they're here for more than one night. It's Minnesota at Toronto with Bob Cole calling the play-by-play. The color commentator is Jerry Pinder. And keeping us up to date on scores of other series out of town is Brian McFarland. In the first two games of this series at Bloomington, Minnesota, the North Stars were totally dominant. And it was the big line of Bobby Smith, Al McAdam, and Steve Payne doing much of the damage as Minnesota won 6-3. Payne got a couple of goals. This was the winner as Minnesota takes a one-game lead. And one night later, again, Bobby Smith taking this shot. Al McAdam getting the rebound. Were big forces, and they drew assists on the winning goal by defenseman Gary Sargent. He's had a goal in each of the first two games. With Minnesota up 2-0, this is game number 3 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Hodge, and if the North Stars, based on the first two games, have any problems here tonight, they would only come from one of two areas: overconfidence, perhaps, or a history of trouble here at Maple Leaf Gardens. The North Stars have not won a game in Toronto since October of 1976. So if the new site makes that much difference, the Leafs would appear to have a chance. But they need the strong goaltending they've received. They need to check better. They need better scoring chances. They need a whole lot. In just a moment, we'll return to Stanley Cup 80 from Toronto.
Stars get ready to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs in a game that could be the last one of the season for the Leafs. And the starting goaltender for Toronto tonight will be Jiri Sera. He played in game 1, Jerry, and lost 6-3, but he had a whopping 55 stops, so he's got to be hot.
Yes, he played very well apparently in that game, Bob, and he's going to have to be hot if they hope to get back in the series.
And Gary Edwards will be starting for the Minnesota North Stars tonight. He also is hot. There's Joe Crozier, the assistant coach of the Maple Leafs, in the runway down below us. We're ready now as the starting lineups come to the blue lines for the national anthem. Here are the officials for tonight's game. Bob Myers is the referee, Jim Christensen and Randy Mitten, the two linesmen. There they are. Taking a look at the goaltenders now, there's Gary Edwards. And he is truly a great one. Gilles Meloche, another great one, backing him up tonight. And at the other end is Jiri Sera, the Czechoslovakian, who's got a great name now in the Toronto Maple Leafs uniform. Mike Palmateer on the bench backing him up tonight. And again, there's Joe Crozier, the assistant coach back on the bench. Let's go to center ice now as you look at Glenn Sonmore just down a little bit by the trainer. Nope, he didn't move quickly enough. We'll get a shot of Glenn for you a little later. A very colorful, likable gentleman who's done wonders with this Minnesota team. Smith, Payne, and McAdam up front for Minnesota. Sargent and Hartsburg on the defense. The Leafs starting right away, forechecking. They flipped them inside the line offside. Jerry, it looks like we've got a skating game already, and the Leafs plan to go.
Well, it looks like the Leafs are planning to take the body, maybe slow Minnesota down a little bit, but with all the shots Minnesota's had on the Leafs in 2 games, they've got to keep the puck out of their own end, Toronto, or they haven't got a chance.
There it is in the Minnesota zone. Cleared to Sargent. Right back for Hartsburg, and here he comes up to center. He's got a great shot into McAdam. Oh, he came close with that low shot to the far side. Sargent closing in, and a rising shot off the arm of Sera. He might be hurt. He went down quickly and heavily. A high, hard shot that went off his right shoulder, I believe, Jerry, and up over the glass behind him, and he went down immediately.
Well, he sure did, Bob, and it was an unbelievable blast. We're going to have another look at it here and just see exactly where it did hit him, but it looked like it was on the shoulder. Sargent lets one fly, and it was off his mask, it looks like, Bob. Looks like it was, he looks down on the ice there looking at him. He looks like he's a little bit dazed, so it probably hit him on the forehead.
A little dizzy, and there's an anxious Mike Palmateer, the backup goaltender for the Maple Leafs tonight. The doctor will be coming out now to have a look at Jiri Sera. He's making his way on the ice now, and I don't think he's going to come any further. From Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, this is Stanley Cup 80.
Their score first here, Pat Boutet killing a penalty, gets a shorthanded goal in the Whalers' home ice against Montreal to go ahead 1-0. It was a shorthanded goal. Now Montreal comes back with Steve Shutt here making the play to Guy Lafleur, and who else? He ties it up with a blast from just inside the blue line.
Well, they dropped the puck in. The Leafs started to move out of their own zone, and we're getting a penalty right off the bat. This is the first penalty call of the hockey game. It's against the Maple Leafs. Dave Farish.
Well, Bob, we talked about it earlier today. This is exactly what the Leafs don't want to do because of that very potent Minnesota power play. We're going to have a look at the penalty call here. So it's a pretty good hook. I don't think we're going to question that call.
Toronto penalty to number 23.
But they do have a very...
2 minutes for hooking. Time 34 seconds.
They have a very potent power play, Bob, led by Bobby Smith, who incidentally isn't on the ice now. Eaves is out there at center.
Eaves with McCarthy to his right, and the face-off just outside the Maple Leaf blue line. And here it comes. Goes right down in the Minnesota zone. That's Sittler looking for it against McCarthy. He gets loose and centers it. But right in front of the net was Kristoff to bring it away. Not very far. But now the North Stars get organized, and they come to center. They're on a power play, remember, going in as Eaves. Eaves on the right side, bumped a little by Salming. Gets a pass back of the net. Kristoff back to the blue line. Hartsburg gets set to make a play for Young. Will it come to Young? No, he's going to play it over the other way. The shot now, right back to him. At the blue line again, tipped in. Giles gets ready near the point. Play comes in back of the net. No score in this first period. This is a power play by Minnesota. 1:20 gone in the first period. Again, Giles rolled it to the far side, gets it back, hammers the shot. A weak one was wide. It's back of the net in the mesh. And they hold it there, so they'll bring it outside the Toronto blue line for a face-off, and 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the Toronto penalty.
Well, what they're doing on the power play, Bob, Giles is back on the point with the puck, and he moves from the boards into the center portion of the blue line and draws Sittler with him, and that leaves Kristoff open on the far boards. But they control the play very well, but they really didn't get any good shots on the net.
We've got Bobby Smith with Payne and McAdam now up front for Minnesota. Wilf Paymon with Martin. For Toronto, they'll try to kill the penalty from up front. Salming and Turnbull on the defense. Sargent plays it over for Hartsburg. Back to Sargent at his own line coming out. He's in with Smith. Played it off the boards to the corner and chases it himself. That's Sargent going off stride. Now he's back on his skates. Back to the blue line. McAdam over for Hartsburg. The shot. Sera stopped that, and it's cleared off the glass. Not out. Knocked down by McAdam. He lost it. The Leafs will clear it down the ice. 34 seconds left in the penalty to Toronto Maple Leafs Dave Farish. There is no score in this first period. Minnesota North Stars leading the series 2-0. And here's Hartsburg to center, tossing one into the Toronto zone. The dangerous Bobby Smith is after it. Smith in the corner, Paymon all over him. Knocked him down, the play goes right on. The Stars do have possession though. Bobby Smith from the corner, works it out front, the backhand shot. He was flattened again as he played it off the side into the corner. Back to Sargent, he took a shot, and that was drifted away. The Leaf penalty is over. Farish ran into his man. I'm telling you, it's rough here. Here's Martin with a shot. A low shot is wide on the far side, And the play is called, and they're really going at it. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And
well, there's the penalty. There's an interference call there on him, and there's not much doubt about the call again.
And play underway now with Farish off again, his second penalty of this first period. And we're still coming up to the 3rd minute mark. That's all we've played so far. There's no score. A lot of action, though, in the first 3 minutes. Coming in now is Eaves in the corner. Minnesota power play. Eaves with McCarthy back to the line. It's tipped in by Tim Young. In front, the quick shot. Scores! It went right over to Steve Kristoff, and Sirrah had no chance. He was out of the play. Power play goal. 1-0 Minnesota.
Well, a tremendous three-way play by the forward line. Watch the pass to Eaves in the slot, and he lets the shot go. Kristoff just comes in from the left side. He had the whole open net. Yuri Sirrah made the initial save, but had no chance. Watch the play into the slot here. Very good position for Eaves to be in, and the puck just comes right out to Kristoff. And
Minnesota goal scored by number 28, Steve Kristoff. Assist number 17, Tim Young, and number 18, Mike Eaves. Time 3:08.
Eaves and Tim Young with the assists on the goal by Kristoff. 3:08 the time. It's 1-0 Minnesota. Here they come again. Youngins. He failed to get away from his man, and the puck is grabbed back of the net. Rocky Saganuk with Anderson and Boschman. Boschman going in after that loose puck. It's cleared on the boards. Knocked down by Stallman. In front of Anderson. And the shot is blocked in front of Edwards. There's another drive by Farish, and a dribble by the post off a stick in front. There's going to be a penalty now to Minnesota. And Bob Myers is cracking right down on them in the beginning of this game. It's 1-0 Minnesota, and now they'll be shorthanded. This is Stanley Cup 80 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.
Electric.
There's Greg Smith. He's off for holding at 3:35 of this first period. Minnesota leading 1-0. And in games of this best-of-5 series, 2-0. Now the Leafs with a man advantage. Sittler with a draw. Salming near the blue line. Took a shot. That's grabbed by Edwards, and he hangs on to it.
Bob, talking about Salming, in speaking with some of the Leafs today, the type of defensive hockey that they're trying to play and haven't been able to play, Bob, but Borje Salming's down about 20 pounds from the start of the year. He's a very, very tired hockey player right now.
Sittler gets set to take the draw. Gets it back to Salming. Salming back into the side. Sittler in the slot. The shot dribbled off the skate in front. Edwards got a stick on it, and it's cleared to the center ice area. Salming with Turnbull. Sittler coming back with Salming. Polic, the penalty killer up front, giving him some trouble. Youngins, the other one up front for Minnesota. But it's Salming stopping near the line. The pass hit Turnbull. He's on the fly. Had it poked away by Schmier. It's cleared back of the net into the corner, and Salming on the other side. He flipped it in for Hickey. Sittler's shot. And that went across in front. It comes right back to Turnbull. His drive is knocked down. There's going to be another penalty. Here it is. A penalty called against Minnesota with 1 minute and 13 seconds left in Greg Smith's penalty. Here's a cross-checking call now against Minnesota.
Looks like it's going to be Freddie Barrett.
Fred Barrett. So they'll be too short. Great opportunity for the Leafs to get back on even terms.
Minnesota penalty to number 3, Fred Barrett. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time 4:22.
It's a tremendous opportunity for them to get back in the game, but it's very obvious that the Toronto Maple Leafs are trying to be physical in their own rink with the Minnesota North Stars. And we all know that the Minnesota North Stars are a better skating hockey club than the Toronto Maple Leafs, so it's a pretty good strategy if they can stay out of the penalty box.
Well, they have 2 of them in there now. There's the coach, Glenn Sonmore. Comes back to Turnbull. Lots of room out there. Salming shooting it. He let it go wide. Turnbull now. And that's blocked. Turnbull again with a rebound. Sargent after him. Turnbull goes into the corner with Sittler. Comes out in front to Sittler. Now we're getting another call in front. We might have 2 going off now. There was a lot of pushing in front of Gary Edwards, and Bob Myers is right on the job early in this game, and we've yet to hit the 5-minute mark.
It's going to be double penalties to Gary Edwards and Will Fairmont. I wish we had a replay of that because they took a pretty good chop at each other with their sticks.
With a score, Minnesota 1, Toronto nothing. This is Stanley Cup 80.
Have a look here. See, Paymont take a pretty good cut at him with his stick, but before that, Gary Edwards had taken a pretty good cut at him standing in front of the net.
So Gary Sargent will serve the penalty assessed against the goaltender, Gary Edwards. And Wilf Paymont of Toronto is off. 59 seconds left in the Greg Smith penalty of Minnesota. So the Leafs still have that man advantage. They're playing 4 skaters to 3. Sittler, Hickey, Turnbull, Salming. A lot of scoring punch right there. And it's 1-0 Minnesota at this point of the hockey game. But Minnesota with the draw, shooting it down the ice. That's Tim Young coming up to watch Salming. And wow, he's not taking any nonsense tonight. Bob Myers really going to work. Look at this.
Well, there's going to be 2 more, I think.
We have 2 more going, and not much room on the Minnesota side, let me tell you, in the penalty box area.
Obviously, the referee doesn't want to let the game out of control. Toronto's pretty rambunctious in the early going in this game, but he's calling it a little bit close, Bob. I didn't really see what the point in those penalties were, to tell you the truth.
Jerry, that happened in behind the play. Hickey and Young. Young was going in to watch Salming, and Hickey skated across in front. They did some shoving, grabbing. Here's the announcement.
Tim Young, 2 minutes for slashing. Toronto penalty to number 16, Pat Hickey, 2 minutes for slashing. Time 4:47.
4:47, the time of these penalties. Young and Hickey for slashing. They grabbed at each other, pulled at each other, and then took the odd swing. So they're off for slashing. It's 1-0 Minnesota. That's Giles back on his own side of center with Schmier, the captain of the North Stars. Paul Schmier starting across his own line. Coming up to center, he dropped it back for Bobby Smith. You don't want to give him too much room. There's plenty out there now. Smith rolled it over. And here's Giles. Back for Smith. Smith turning around to get away from Turnbull. Trying to get it back. And Sittler was near a 2-man break. This is Salming with Sittler. 2 great ones. Salming going in. Comes near the blue line. Still has it, but now he loses control. And it's into the center ice area for Sittler. To Salming again. Salming going in. Trying to drop it back. Sittler and Turnbull couldn't get through. Here's Turnbull now. Near the blue line, trying to keep it in. Flipped it ahead, and it's knocked down by Schmier. Still in the zone. Salming winding up. And the grab by Edwards. He fed it out in front of his own goal, and the Stars come away. 1-0 Minnesota. Giles shooting one in. Serra back of the net. The Leafs are changing as the play goes on. Here's Salming coming out again with Anderson racing in. Anderson across the line, dropping it for Salming. Salming lost control of it, and it's cleared along the boards by Hartsburg. Not out, though. Anderson went after it, back of the net. Anderson gets in front, and it was stopped by Edwards. Big play by Anderson, and a big save by Edwards.
Well, it's pretty exciting out there, Bob, with only 3 on each team, but something that's very apparent in the early going of this hockey game. We're going to have a look at Anderson. He come right out in front of the net here, and Edwards gets a piece of it, and it goes up over the glass. But from the Minnesota point of view, every time Salming touches the puck, they're trying to get a piece of him and haul him down, just get in his way and bother him. On the other hand, every time Bobby Smith gets the puck, you're seeing a couple of Toronto Maple Leafs chasing him, and they're trying to get a piece of him.
There are 10 seconds left in the penalty to Fred Barrett. We hope you'll be watching our intermissions tonight. Something special in our second intermission. We have a Don Cherry Coach's Clinic. And let me tell you, that's going to be some fun. Don Cherry, Coach's Corner. Second intermission tonight. Okay, Don.
We saw a pretty spirited Minnesota team this morning, Bob, in the workouts. They sounded very, very confident.
Yes.
And there wasn't much doubt that they wanted to end the series tonight. They don't want to go a 4th game. They want a couple of days off.
McAdam with Greg Smith for Minnesota. It comes by Salming down the ice. And the Leafs coming back now. Turnbull reached up, tried to knock it down. It went by him. Greg Smith coming back in his own zone. 1-0, North Stars. Smith back of the goal. Schmier standing out front. And here they come to Schmier. Up on the left side, hitting the line to center ice. All Schmier going in. It comes all the way back for Smith. He takes a step or two. Paymon is back on now. Here's Smith going after it. Salming took it away from him. Salming winding up down to Turnbull. Turnbull's rink wide pass to Paymon going in. Paymon across the line into the corner, shooting it on the boards. It'll come for Hickey. Hickey standing there near the boards. Now cuts in with a shot. The rebound to Sittler. He had it knocked away. Sittler still has it. Turnbull will take the screen shot. Blocked. Another one maybe. Here it is. And a beautiful glove save by Gary Edwards. A fast hand by Edwards.
A big save by Edwards. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving again by the Minnesota net. Will Paymon was standing in front of the net and getting a real rough time of it. There's the first one. It comes back to Turnbull and he lets it go again. Watch this glove save by Edwards. He screened. Beautiful stop. Minnesota are blessed with some pretty good talent in that goal, Bob. Gilles Meloche, their backup goaltender, is a fantastic goalie. I played with him in the old California Seals, and he's just as quick as a cat.
The Leafs with Sittler, Hickey, and Paymon. Turnbull and Salming, the two defensemen, 1-0 Minnesota. The Stars, shorthanded, shooting it down the ice. 24 seconds left in Sargent's penalty. A minute and 5 seconds left in Young's penalty. The Leafs now have a great opportunity with a two-man advantage for another 15 seconds. Sittler grabbed that pass neatly. Good move. Going in with Paymon and Sittler right in. Scramble for it. Gary Edwards down again, made the save. They're still after it. Sittler gets ready to play it back. Over to Turnbull. Back in front. Sittler was stopped unbelievably in front. And the Stars are going to clear it now. They're only one man short and 35 seconds left in Young's penalty. But I'll tell you, Gary Edwards has come up very big with the Leafs a two-man advantage and only 30 seconds left in that one penalty now. The Leafs power play still on. Turnbull slides it up on an open wing. And it's Hartsburg going back for Minnesota and shooting it down the ice, and 18 seconds left in Young's penalty. Minnesota 1, Toronto no score. They're nearing the 9-minute mark of the first period, and here's Anderson now. Straight up the ice at center is Anderson. Flying up over the line. Anderson going in with Boschman, had it poked away. And the penalty is now over. Young is on. The North Stars at full strength again. Parrish back in his own zone. Parrish slides the pass to Anderson. Here come the Leafs with good wide open skating hockey now as he shoots along one end. Edwards out of the net, hooked it off to the corner. And it's cleared by Payne up on the boards, but they hold it now. Hooked loose by Hartsburg. Hartsburg bumped back of the net. The Leaf player falling. That was Saganuk. And the North Stars, led by Smith, up to center. He fell as he hit the blue line, and he was offside. Stanley Cup 80 will continue in a moment. Cameraman sees it, and we come back to the lineup for Minnesota. Bobby Smith leaning over for the face-off. He's number 15. He has McAdam and Payne, and that's the big line for Minnesota. Paymon for Toronto. Martin and Ellis. Burroughs didn't get very far in the center ice area now. Parrish played it ahead. Martin couldn't pick it up, and Sargent back for Minnesota, slides it into the Leaf zone. It goes over the line, and it's icing called against Minnesota. An announcement out of Detroit today, Jerry. Ted Lindsay has been named the new head coach. Thought I'd leave you up in the air for a second there, but Ted Lindsay, the new head coach.
Well, that's slightly surprising, but you can bet if he's going behind the bench, there's going to be some fireworks in Detroit. He'll light a fire under some of those guys that are supposed to have the potential but haven't been producing in Detroit, because I really do feel they have an awfully good hockey club, Bob.
There'll be a trio of management looking over him. He's going to be managed by 3 people. But as you know Ted Lindsay, and as I know Ted Lindsay, he's a tough, hard-nosed customer. They're going to work in Detroit, I'll tell you. So we wish Ted the best. Get the Red Wings back into this postseason play. Here we've got the Maple Leafs against the North Stars in this elimination round, with the North Stars leading 2-0. 6-3 and 7-2 victories at home in Bloomington. Well, the Leafs trying to keep it alive now, and they're trailing 1-0 as they near the halfway mark of this first period. The North Stars defense staying up there, breaking it up with Smith. Greg Smith cleared it into the zone. Salming back of the net, into the corner. Shot away by Five. Didn't get out. Now he brings it across the line himself. Rick Five coming up. Oh, was he hammered at the blue line. Fred Barrett went flying also, but he really checked the Leaf player. Puck comes all the way back to Turnbull at his own line. Pushes one over for Burrows. The return pass didn't work. Young nearly broke in. He's tied up. And it's cleared by Serra out to the center ice area. That's Zanussi, number 9. Flipping it back in. And offside, the Minnesota North Stars. Saturday and Sunday on Sports Weekend to see the Masters live from Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia. 9:43 left in the first period. Minnesota 1, Toronto no score. Tim Young with a draw, and it goes immediately into the Toronto zone. Burrows back of the net. Turnbull to his left. He set it up for Turnbull all right, and he got it across the line. Gurley goes shooting it in. He's in with Anderson and Rocky Saginaw. Rozier making some changes from behind the Leaf bench, trying to get it going as Turnbull's shot was wide of the mark. Burrows stopped at the blue line, and the North Stars get it across the line to center ice. Coming down as Giles got in, dropped it back, gets a return pass into the corner. McCarthy centered it, and the Leafs, Rocky Saginaw gets it up the center. Saginaw going in after it. He's stopped by Tim Young right in front of his own net. It comes back to the center ice area, and Turnbull shoots it high on the glass, and it's back of the net again. That's Schmier. He doubles back the other way. Over it goes to McCarthy. He slides it up to Tim Young at center. Young going in on a solo job, and he can't beat the 4 Leaf players who are back waiting for him. 8:40 left in the period. Sargent slides it back for Hartsburg. Here he is up with McAdam. He was stopped by Turnbull. The North Stars, Bobby Smith couldn't move it in, but they got it in anyway. Serra back of the net is McAdam. He centered it. Sargent shot, a low one. 2 feet wide to Serra's left. Now Payne going after Paymont on the far side. Paymont got it across the line, and the Leafs move it to center. Salming going in with Martin and Ellis. The shot went off the arm of Edwards. It bounced down in front. He scored! Paymont and Martin were following the play. And Gary Edwards, Jerry, I don't think he knew where it was at all.
No, he was taken right out of the play. There's the original shot. Well, there's a couple of rebounds here. There's the first whack at it. Now Edwards is out of the net. He's been knocked over. And they just follow up from behind on the play with Ellis causing all kinds of problems. There's the first shot. He makes another save on the rebound here and gets knocked down. Now watch Paymont, or Martin, pardon me, come in and knock it in.
Well, Paymont.
Joe Crozier has juggled the lines quite a bit. He's got Paymont playing center between Ellis and Terry Martin now, and he's moved center between Vive and Pat Hickey. And the move certainly paid off on that particular shift.
So it's tied at 1. Now 8:05 left in the period. Barry shoots it in. Coming back is Fred Barrett back of the net, but here's Salming again. He's keeping it in for Toronto. Sittler centered it, and the North Stars shoot it out to center ice. Parrish waits. Didn't wait long enough, I don't think. He did not, and the Leafs are offside.
Well, look, after the shot here, Bob, the key thing on this goal is watch as Ellis moves in front of the net, and Gary Edwards gets taken right out of the play. There's Paymont take a second shot at the rebound, and there down goes Edwards. And Terry Martin comes in, and all he has to do is put it into the open net.
Well, he and Paymont wasted no time in getting in close when that puck bounced high in the air, and Edwards looked around for a second. When he did see it, as you say, Jerry, he was knocked to the ice and out of position. Somebody had to score, and it was Martin who put it by Paymont and Edwards into the net. 1-1. 7:45 left in this opening period. That's Greg Smith for Minnesota. A long pass will go all the way down the ice. This will be icing if Farish gets there. He does, and it's icing.
Papers here today.
Don't forget, if the Leafs win this game tonight, Game 4 of this series will be here in Maple Leaf Gardens tomorrow night. We hope you'll join us if that happens. Sittler looks as if he wants to make it happen. Number 27 gets it back to Farish. He was tied up and couldn't shoot it. And Minnesota starts away. Down goes Eaves, closing in, centered one, and Sirah comes up with a big save off Kristoff. He went sliding along in front and stopped Kristoff. Beautiful save by Yuri Sirah. North Stars keep it in. It's blocked by Salming in front of the net, and Sittler is back there. He got away from a check thrown by Kristoff, and the Leafs will shoot it out to center. Vibe just plays it down inside the Minnesota line. The two teams are changing now as the play goes on. 1-1 is the score with 6:55 left in the period. The North Stars bring it right back. The long chance by McCarthy didn't work. He fell to the ice back of the net. He got his stick on it though. Now he's tied up. Anyway, it comes to Anderson. Back to the line to Schmier. His shot is blocked in front of the net. Cleared away by Young, and I think we're getting another penalty, maybe a couple. More slashing going on in front of the Leaf net. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Schmier just shoots it into the middle here, and Burroughs has a pretty good hold on Young and takes a whack at him. Now they just do a little bit of fencing with each other, and they're both going off the ice.
Burroughs and Young slashing penalties. 13-22. The score tied at 1. There's Bobby Smith, one of the big stars of not only the Minnesota North Stars, but of the National Hockey League. Great athlete. Salming steps out of the zone, played it up for Martin. That's a great play cutting in, and he's cleared away by Sargent. Sargent then flipped it down the ice for Minnesota. Coming back. Salming again. In back of the net, right out front, to Paymont to Martin. Paymont coming to center, Martin on his left. And Paymont slides it to him, the shot. And that was blocked once again by Sargent. Paymont kept it in for Martin back of the net. He's tied up by Hartsburg. It comes loose. And McAdam starts away. McAdam coming up to the line. 1:20 left in the penalties. They're 5 aside now. It's cleared in by McAdam. The Leafs trying to pick it up was Farish. He got a chance from Smith. Lost it though. McAdam and Smith inside the line. And again, Paymont was back to break it up. Coming away with Sittler. Paymont to Sittler up near the line. He had it poked away by Greg Smith. And Smith in his own zone for Minnesota. Got away from Sittler with that pass. Now the North Stars are starting back. Up to center ice is Kristoff over the line. He was bumped by Turnbull and sent flying. 45 seconds left in the penalties. There's Smith going in, and they're offside at the Toronto blue line. Other games tonight in the first period. The Rangers lead Atlanta 1-0. The Rangers up in that series 2-0. Dave Maloney got the goal for New York. Face off just outside the Toronto blue line. Minnesota 1, Toronto 1. Minnesota scored first. The Leafs tied it. And here come the Leafs, led by Sittler. Up over the line, stick handles off to the corner. Going in is Hickey. He's bumping with his man. Sittler in to help him. It comes right to Minnesota. They'll clear it again as Eaves got a hold of it. Now Turnbull has a look. Everybody is on side. So he flipped the backhander in back of the Minnesota net. Sittler standing right in front of the goal, nearly picked it off. It comes to Eaves at center. He shoots it in to the right of Sirah. And here's Kristoff coming in with Eaves. They battle for it. Eaves has it to Kristoff in front. And a great play by Turnbull. He fell in front of him and made the save as Kristoff was going for that far corner. And he had Sirah moving his way. Penalized players are back on. The team's at full strength with 4.5 minutes left in the period. Mulhern on for the first time for Toronto. To Anderson up near the line. Anderson can really go. Turns on the brakes, fed it over in front, and it's cleared by McCarthy. Again, the Leafs, Farish tossed one down the ice. This might be icing as Barrett comes back for it. It is icing called against Toronto.
Here we see Daryl Sittler, who's been moved off that line with Paymon and Martin in an attempt. And what Joe Crozier is trying to do is have Paymon play center ice and shadow Bobby Smith. The last couple of shifts on the ice, everywhere Bobby Smith's gone, Paymon's been right behind him or in front of him, as the case may be, and interfering with him. And it's a pretty good move on the Crows' part, because somebody's got to handle Bobby Smith. He picked up 6 assists in the first 2 games.
4:08 left of the period. Toronto 1, Minnesota 1. Tim Young comes to center against Boschman. Farish lobbed it back to the net. Saganuk didn't play it, so Minnesota keeps it in. Now Salming skates in front of the net. He nearly lost it there. Salming and Anderson get together. Anderson was upended. And Salming back of the net, out front of it again, looking for some room to Saganuk and Boschman. Anderson is trailing. They shoot it into the Minnesota zone. That's Paul Schmier around the net. He got away from Boschman. Nearly lost it in front of the goal. But it was cleared by Giles to center. Tim Young going in, winds up. That's an easy save for Serra. He was in good position, and he just held it. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Left of the period, Toronto and Minnesota deadlocked at a goal with a face-off to the left of Jiri Serra, who incidentally is celebrating his 30th birthday today. That's Paymon into the face-off spot against Bobby Smith. It comes right to Serra for Ellis. Ellis and Martin up front with Paymon, and here they come. Ellis lost his stick, and the North Stars bring it right back. Bobby Smith going in, a good move for McAdam. McAdam's shot, it's kicked away by Serra, and Ellis gets a chance to bring it out with Martin along with him. Here he comes. He's up over the line, left it for Paymon. Paymon on a sharp angle, put the shot on Edwards. He held it long enough for a whistle. Let's go to Hartford again, and Danny Gallivan. More action there.
Cleared it down the ice.
Well, the Hartford Whalers
trying to get away on the right side, ran into alley. Here's Keon coming in over the line and passes it.
Hartford takes the lead 2-1. Davy Keon feeding it to Rowe, who puts it up over the shoulder of Bunny Larocque to make it 2-1 for the Hartford Whalers.
And here we're set for the face-off to the right of Gary Edwards with 3:06 remaining in this first period. The score tied at 1. Ellis comes to center to take this draw. Paymon to his right. Martin steps on the rim of the circle. Right behind him, Turnbull and Burrows, the 2 defensemen. That's Sargent for Minnesota. On with Hartsburg on the Minnesota defense. And they work it along the left side with Payne coming in. Shoots one in wide of the net. Martin going back for Toronto. Serra took a bump, and Turnbull feeds it ahead for Paymon. Paymon coming in. It's up over the red line. He picked it up, tried to clear it back in front. It hit the side of the net. And finally, with 4 players jamming it there in the mesh, they hold it. Let's check in with Dave Hodge now.
In the first intermission, I'll talk to Tom McCarthy, the young left winger of the Minnesota North Stars. We'll look at highlights of games 1 and 2 in the other series involving Canadian teams, and Brian McFarland will give us up-to-date scores on other series tonight.
Thank you, David. The newest winner of the Foster Hewitt Award, the ACTRA Award, Outstanding Sportscasting in Canada, and a deserving winner, let me tell you, a very highly regarded professional in this business. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first period. 1-1. The score, Minnesota and Toronto. Sittler forechecking, trying to keep it in. It went up too high. Into the glass, into the crowd.
Very vocal Toronto crowd here, Bob. I haven't heard them this loud in a long, long time, but the papers were filled today with the stories about the Leafs wanting to pack up and play golf, but certainly there's no indication of that tonight. They're playing a very, very solid game, and they're taking the body, and in talking to a lot of the players today, they feel that the type of season they've gone through and all the problems that they've had, they really want to win it. You know,
There's Dan Maloney. Big smile. He wants to be out on that ice. Of course he can't be. He's injured. Greg Smith for Minnesota, starting away. Passes one out to the line. Here's Eaves coming in. In on the wing is Kristoff. Back to Eaves. Who went behind him. And a break for Sittler as he starts away. Coming in with 5 on his right. Sittler up over the line. Nearly did it all. He did. The shot was stopped by Edwards, and we're getting another penalty. A high sticking penalty. Well, I'll tell you, Sittler can move that puck when he wants to.
What a great play. And he made the pass. He made the pass to Vive. Watch him come in and beat Greg Smith here. Puts it between his legs. Now he makes the pass to Vive, and Vive lets it go. Gary Edwards doesn't even see the shot. It just hits him. Watch this. There it goes. Hits him up high. I don't even think he saw the shot. But Toronto has a chance before the period's over to go in with a 2-1 lead.
And here at 17:56, Ron Zanussi is off for high sticking. And you're right, Jerry. I have a chance now with a man advantage to go in with a goal lead. It's 1-1 now. Minnesota shorthanded. The Leafs, Sittler, Vive, Hickey, Salming, and Turnbull. Turnbull near the blue line to Salming. Goes in front of the net. Sittler was tied up. And it'll be cleared by Polic down the ice for Minnesota. 1 minute and 52 seconds left in the period. 1:45 in the penalty. Sittler, that's a good play for Vive coming in. And the shot was stopped by Edwards. Hartsburg pulls it to the side of the net. Nearly lost it to Sittler. Now he shoots one on the boards, and it's cleared, but not out. Turnbull keeping it in. Sittler was given a bump, or rather Vive was given a bump along the boards. Here's Vive again, right back into it. Hickey dumped it in front. The Stars are there, can't move it out. Here's Hickey getting set, right in front. Scramble for it, and Sittler couldn't find it. It was Gary Edwards who went down. He held it as the sticks go up high, and they push at each other in the goal crease of Minnesota.
There's a shot of the Crow. There's been a lot of pushing and shoving in front of the net, but an excellent play back at the point by Salming. Watch him get it to Hickey, and there's Sittler, clogs up the front of the net. He screens Edwards. That's the shot going. Somehow Edwards covered up on it, but pretty effective Maple Leaf power play tonight, Bob. There's no way that you can say this Maple Leaf Hockey Club's quitting.
1 minute and 14 seconds left, and the penalty to Zanussi is 1:18 left in the first period. Toronto, on the offensive side of the ledger, have outshot Minnesota 15-7 with 1:18 left of this period. So Gary Edwards has been big. Boschman, Saganuk, Hickey, Salming, and Turnbull. Make that Anderson. He hasn't broken that line. Anderson comes in to take the face-off. Boschman was tossed out. They're still a little anxious. Now they drop it in. Goes into the corner. Barrett went after it. Couldn't move it out. Gets another chance. Still doesn't do it. Anderson dropping it back. Here's Salming. Quick shot by Salming. And Edwards very quick again. Grabbed it, and he held it with 1 minute and 3 seconds left of the penalty. 1:07 in the period.
Well, with Minnesota killing off this penalty till almost to the end of the period, if they can get away with a 1-1 tie, they're pretty fortunate. The Leafs, as the shots tell the story, they badly outplayed Minnesota this first period.
Boschman now. Back into the circle. Will he stay there? He won't put the sticks down, so he tosses them both out. Now it's dropped in. Turnbull and Salming, they keep it in. Here's Boschman going after it. Barrett watching it. Another penalty coming up. It goes off to Salming, and here's the call. This time against the Toronto Maple Leafs with only 59 seconds left of the period. And they're arguing this call. They don't like it. Turnbull moves in quickly to move Saganuk and Boschman out of there, and Anderson. They're all getting around referee Bob Myers and giving it to him. You'll see it come up now, off to the left of the net. Look at this.
There's the play by Boschman. And again, that's a good call. But watching this Minnesota.
Minutes for holding. Time 19:01.
Watching the Minnesota North Star team, Bob, one thing that's got to impress you is the 6 defensemen they throw out in the ice. They maybe have the best 6 defensemen in the National Hockey League. They're all very intelligent. They get the puck out of their own end extremely well.
And they can shoot.
They can shoot it.
Smith and McAdam up front. Hartsburg back with Sargent on the Minnesota defense. Now they're 5 aside. The score tied at 1. And 50 seconds left in the period. The Stars starting away. Sargent over the line to center. Coming up near the Leaf line, he stops outside the line, and that put McAdam on the right wing offside. Again, we go to Danny Gallivan in Hartford, and there's more scoring there.
It goes off a player in front. Now loose in front. There it goes. LaRouche getting set. LaRouche trying to get it in front. They score! Is it Lambert?
Yvan Lambert, watch the play made by Pierre LaRouche here. He gets the goalie moving to the right and just feeds Lambert, who actually kind of fanned on the shot, but he got enough wood to get it over the line as the score is now tied 2-2.
Kind of a soft goal by Lambert, but he's hot. I think that's 5 for him in this playoff. Score is tied at 1 here. 30 seconds left in the opening period. The Leafs bring it out. Salming slides it down, and Sargent has it at his own blue line to Hartsburg. Back for Sargent. Coming out with McAdam at center ice. McAdam of Minnesota up over the Leaf line, gets ready to make a move. Turnbull playing well, tied him up, trying to break away with Martin. Martin with Paymont and Turnbull. He ran into Paymont actually and went offside at the Minnesota blue line. And only 9 seconds remaining in this opening period. Penalty minutes in this period, 24, 12 to each team. They drop it in just outside the Minnesota line. There it is. And it's Hartsburg who has it. Taking his time, trying to run out the clock now, going around the net, and he'll do it. He comes out in front of the net, and the bell goes to end the first period with the Minnesota North Stars taking a 1-goal lead. The Leafs staying with it, coming back to tie it up on that goal by Martin. And so the score at the end of the first period is Toronto 1, Minnesota 1.
Our advantage, and Toronto outshot Minnesota 16-7, a very big difference from the first 2 games and from the last 2 of the regular season between these teams. A chance to talk for a couple of minutes now with Minnesota's rookie left winger Tom McCarthy, one of the 19-year-old drafts this year, and first year in the NHL. Stanley Cup play, and get a big goal the other night. It doesn't show as a winning goal or anything, but the Leafs were coming on, and your 5th goal of the game really turned it around for Minnesota. I assume that's one you'll remember for a long time.
Definitely it was. It was high for me in the game, and thanks for the play of my teammates. It made it a lot easier, and the goal came a lot easier.
Tom, Toronto was a better team tonight than they had been in the first 2 games, and I'm sure you expected that. What did your coach, Glenn Sonmore, tell you to expect coming in here?
Well, he told us you know, that they throw them 2 different kinds of games at us, a physical game and a skating game, and he said that they might add a little of both and try to make a combination between the 2, and therefore they have in the first period, and so what he had told us is we'd sort of expected.
The Minnesota tradition here at the Gardens is not a good one, but of course it's nothing to do with you. This is your first year. Was there any attempt to try to keep you from reading the papers? Because to pick up a paper in Toronto the last couple of days would tell you that this series is all over.
Yeah, that's... I guess a lot of the talk has been because of the newspaper articles, but I'm not one to read the sports page much. I don't really get involved in it that much. That way it doesn't bother me or affect my game at all. So, but I did understand a little bit of controversy, but that doesn't really matter because of, you know, it's still a hockey game and we're all putting out our 100%.
Well, there's no newspapers out there tonight, and the North Stars and the Leafs are tied 1-1. Tom, thank you very much. We'll let you get back to the room. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Stanley Cup 1980 continues in just a moment.
Ron Lowe, the Edmonton goaltender, was the story for the Oilers in Game 1 of the series with the Philadelphia Flyers. He faced 51 shots on the opening night of the series. However, in overtime, a famous Philadelphia combination, Bobby Clark and Reggie Leach went to work to get the game winner, and and a 4-3 Flyer victory. Leach actually picking up the puck behind the Oiler goal, feeding it out in front for Clark. 8 minutes gone in the overtime period, and Clark batted home the winner for a 4-3 victory, Flyers over the Edmonton Oilers. And a similar situation in Game 2 at the Philadelphia Spectrum. Again, Leach and Clark, the combination. The play actually started with Bob Daly getting a shot from the point. It was stopped by Lowe, and then Leach fed it through for Bobby Clark. And Clark got his second game winner in 2 nights for the Philadelphia Flyers as they took a 2-0 series lead over the Edmonton Oilers in the series. Leach threw for Clark. An easy goal, 2-1 at that point. The Flyers went on to a 5-1 victory. Joining us now, Pat Quinn, the coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, you're very happy, particularly about Game 2 in the series, the way your team played.
Well, certainly, I think their team played a lot better tonight. Lowe kept them in it last night, and of course he made some good stops again, particularly on Leach and Barber. But their team played a heck of a lot better tonight and really give us a good challenge. They took it to us in our zone a little bit better. Last night they seemed to sag way off. Maybe we're a little bit too respectful of our team, I guess. Maybe it's first game jitters. But tonight they decided, what the heck, they have nothing to lose, and you've got a lot more to gain by playing in someone else's end than in your own end. And they startled us with an early first goal, and we had to scramble from there.
Pat, as you look at your hockey club, experience has to be paying off for you, playoff experience.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I guess when they list important ingredients for what wins in the playoffs, experience probably rates as number one. You know how to control yourself. When things go bad, you maintain self-control. You can think properly. The adrenaline doesn't take over and impede the execution of the plays. And certainly that's what held us through last night. When we went down 3-2 in that third period, we scrambled for a couple of shifts, but right after that we seemed to get our poise back and started to create some good attacks rather than it being a one-man situation where one guy tries to deke the whole bunch and score the goal that wins for the team. Everybody wants to win, everybody wants to do the right thing, but that experience lends you to know that the help of your partners is a heck of a lot more important than you yourself doing it.
You're in the driver's seat. Can you wrap it up in 3?
Well, I go into every game believing you're going to win. I've done it all year long. They're not a quitting bunch. We've seen that. Even in the 4 games we played against them earlier. They have good goaltending. Goaltending alone often can win you a hockey game. And they've got some dangerous scores. So we're not going to overestimate them. And they'll be revved up by that Edmonton crowd. I know what they're like. I can remember from that Memorial Cup way back when, 1962-63.
Thank you very much. Good luck in the series. Pat Quinn, coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers have a commanding 2-0 lead in Series A on the Edmonton Oilers.
The series here in Buffalo between the Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks was expected to pit the tight checking and physical style of play of Vancouver against the highest scoring Buffalo Sabres. And in Game 1, what the fans saw was the tight checking and physical play of Vancouver in a 2-1 victory for Buffalo. The Sabres opened the scoring with less than 5 minutes gone in the first period. Gary Bromley can't control the rebound, and Derek Smith puts the Sabres in front, the goal on the power play. Midway through the second period, Bromley has been outstanding, but he can't stop Don Luce on a one-on-one. Luce plays it perfectly, going high to the right side, and the Sabres are up by 2. In the final 20 minutes, Vancouver's persistence pays off, and they finally beat Don Edwards, the rookie Brent Ashton, with a great individual effort, and that's the way it ended. Buffalo 2-1 winners. In Game 2, it was a different story. The scoring power of the Buffalo Sabres finally came to the fore. They were 4-0 leaders after 1 period of play. What we're going to show you now is the final goal in that period on the power play. And the Sabres were simply magnificent whenever they had the extra man. This is a goal from Richie Dunn to make it 4-0. In the third period, Rick Sealing scored, followed by Richard Martin's second of the game, and it was a 6-0 victory for the Buffalo Sabres. But that goal by Richie Dunn on the power play was certainly indicative of the play all night for the Buffalo Sabres. So now it's back to the Coliseum in Vancouver, where Harry Neale and the Canucks must regroup and figure out a way of stopping the potent scoring power of the Buffalo Sabres.
At the Montreal Forum, the first two games of the Canadian-Hartford Whalers series went pretty well according to form. Perhaps a little more one-sided than anybody thought, but the Whalers were hard hit by injury even before the series began. On the morning of the first game, Rick Lee, their captain and #1 defenseman, suffered a knee injury. He's out for the series. And then right at the end of the first period of Game 1, Blaine Stoughton, a 56-goal man for Hartford in the regular season, crashed into the end boards and suffered a broken ankle. Canadians won the first game 6-1, the second game 8-4. And the top scoring star for Montreal in the first two games was Yvon Lambert. His previous career high in playoff competition was established last year when he scored 5 times for the Canadians, including the dramatic overtime goal in Game 7 in the semifinals with Boston. But in the first two games of this series, Lambert has scored 4 times, and he opened the scoring in the series. This was the play that led to the Canadians' first goal in Game 1, Lambert being sent in by Larry Robinson, a couple of cracks at it, close in, and he beats goaltender Al Smith. Lambert scored twice in Game 1 and twice in Game 2. But the top goal in the second game was tallied by the Canadians' #1 goal scorer, Guy Lafleur, his second goal of the series. It was a tremendous play by Lafleur, who broke down the ice, Bob Gainey with him. There was a penalty being called in the play, but it didn't have to be called. Watch Lafleur move in as the defense falls, and he beats goaltender John Garrett from close range. So the Canadians take a 2-game lead in the series with 2 very convincing victories. A key thing as far as the fans were concerned in Game 2, the final goal of the game and the fourth for the Whalers was scored by Gordie Howe. And you have to wonder if perhaps that might be the last time Gordie Howe scores a goal in the Montreal Forum. The Canadians themselves have been hit by injuries. Pierre Mondu and Guy Lapointe will not play again in this series as they were hurt in Game 1. So the Canadians into a commanding lead, 2-0 over Hartford in this round. This is Dick Irvin reporting from Montreal.
Prior to this third game in the Minnesota-Toronto series, the Molson Cup for Toronto was presented to Boreas Salming, and we'll have a look at that as we join Brian McFarland as we return to the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Borea, the Molson Cup has been in existence for 7 years, the same length of time you've been with the Leafs. And during those 7 years, you've been selected as a 4-time winner. It is indeed my pleasure to present it to you this year on behalf of Molson's Brewery, this lovely replica of the cup and a $1,000 check on behalf of Molson's. And our congratulations. Good luck in tonight's game.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we add our congratulations to Boreas Salming of the Leafs as Gay Stewart, the district sales manager of Molson's, presented the award a moment ago. Minnesota and Toronto tied at 1. Kristoff for the North Stars, Martin for the Leafs. Elsewhere on the scoreboard, Montreal and Hartford tied at 2. Lafleur, who was injured in the game and may not play again tonight, is out, and he got one of the goals. Lambert scored his 5th. For Hartford, it was Pat Boutet on a breakaway and Tom Rowe. The Rangers and the Atlanta Flames are tied at 1. Dave Maloney for the Rangers. Bob Murdoch, the defenseman, scored for the Flames. The Flames have only won 1 playoff game in their entire history. No word yet. Chicago, St. Louis, Philadelphia at Edmonton a little later, Buffalo and Vancouver, the Islanders at Los Angeles, also late starts, Boston at Pittsburgh tomorrow. Let's go upstairs now to Bob Cole.
Okay, Brian. Bob Cole along with Jerry Pinder, former National Hockey Leaguer with Chicago and California. Here tonight, we thought maybe we'd see him in action as Serra was hurt early in the first period. Obviously not hurt seriously. He was okay. Yuri Serra celebrating his 30th birthday today, getting ready down to our left. Jerry, I mentioned you played with Chicago in California, and you're still skating today, they tell me. You're playing in pretty good shape, too.
Well, I don't know what kind of shape I'm in, Bob, but we have a very, very important game coming up on April the 25th in Winnipeg. It's a benefit game for Billy Heindel, whom I played with on the Canadian national hockey team and in the professional ranks for a year or two, and the whole National Hockey League is actually getting in behind this. The 27 former members of the Canadian national team are going to be back for the game. People like Ken Dryden, Bobby Orr is a big booster of it. It's to help Billy out, and it's just a tremendous example of what the professional hockey fraternity and all of hockey is willing to do for one of its members who's come up against somewhat of a hardship. And it's going to be a fantastic game. We expect an awful lot of fans in Winnipeg, and we're really, really looking forward to it. And Billy, if you're watching the game tonight, I just want to say hello to you, and I'll see you on the 24th. I'll be in the afternoon on the 24th in Winnipeg.
That's great. It's going to be a sellout, they tell me.
I think it's going to be a big, big crowd.
Well, we're set now as you look at Bob Myers, the referee, getting set to start the second period, and 1 minute and 1 second left in Boschman's penalty. So the Stars start with Smith, Payne, and McAdam up front. They have the man advantage. Sargent and Hartsburg on the defense. And it's Hartsburg dropping back inside his own line. Martin and Paymon. Penalty killers up front with Turnbull and Salming on the Leaf defense. Salming comes back into the corner. Couldn't get away from Payne. The North Stars in possession. Hartsburg kept it in, but now it's clear to breakaway. This is Martin going in, right in on goal. It went in a bit too far, and Edwards, I have to say, made a great move by coming out, but then he got a little bit lucky, and the puck was in behind him, and it was pushed back out to him. We'll see it again. Martin appeared to push it a little too far, and then he couldn't catch up to it.
He did push it. Watch him put his head down here, and Edwards sees this and charges him. He just charges at him as he reaches for the puck, and he gets it. Now it bounces up over top of him. And watch Edwards take a hit here from his own player.
Hartsburg put it back up to him.
Not his own player, pardon me. It looked like it was Wilf Paymon. We're going to see a great play by Ian Turnbull here. He puts Martin in all alone. Now watch him lose the puck just a little bit too far ahead. Edwards sees it and charges him. A very good play on Edwards' part. Watch Paymon come in late and hit him in the head, and he's feeling it a bit down there now, Bob. There we go. He gets a whack on the head, and he was down for a while. He's up now, and it looks like he's all right.
Gary Edwards making the big gamble work. I guess it must be tough when you're a goaltender and you see an opponent starting from center ice all alone.
Boy, I don't know what goes through their head, but they've got to be very alert, because look what Gary Edwards did. As soon as he sees the puck get a little too far ahead and he sees Martin drop his head, he charged him. It was a great play.
There's the face-off. McAdam in back of the net. The North Stars starting out. They're on a power play, and 23 seconds left of the Leaf penalty. Sargent comes to center, has some difficulty against Martin. Now he weaves to the left side, and that's too far. And on the other wing, Steve Payne was inside the line, and the North Stars are called offside.
Bob, getting back to that benefit game for Billy Heindel, there's going to be so many guys playing that maybe haven't played enough hockey in the past, and for all the people in Winnipeg, I just want to say maybe we should have a couple of ambulances ready outside the rink, because I'm not just sure what kind of shape we're in, but we're sure going to have a lot of fun, and I appreciate you mentioning it, Bob.
Okay. Wish you luck, Jerry. Ken Dryden, Bobby Orr, and all the other NHL stars of yesterday. North Stars with a man advantage. A quick shot from the line was blocked. Anderson took the drive, and then back for Hickey. Hickey goes in, turns in the corner. He couldn't make a play. Greg Smith of Minnesota. Here they come. Zanussi comes near the line. Here's a break as they go to center. A long drive by Eaves was blocked. It comes right back to Hickey. Hickey swings away for Toronto. The penalty is over. We've got a fight going at the far side. Five and Zanussi are going at it. That'll be an assessment of major penalties, no doubt. They were really swinging.
Well, Zanussi kind of took him from behind and maybe got him a little bit by surprise, but once Vive got the idea about what was going on, it didn't take him long to drop his gloves, and I don't think there was too much damage done. They were throwing punches, but I don't know how many were connecting. We couldn't really tell from up here.
Zanussi, number 9 of Minnesota. And Rick Vive, number 22 of Toronto, going up from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. This is Stanley Cup 80.
There's the Minnesota North Stars. They bring it out over the blue line, and we see along the boards there the start of a little bit of pushing and shoving, and that's what precipitated the fight.
So they get majors, Vive of Toronto and Zanussi of Minnesota. Major penalties. The North Stars shooting it in. Serra out of the net. Holding it right there is Salming. The score tied 1-1. And here's Salming starting out. He played it up along the left wing. For Saginaw, that didn't work. Boschman comes back. He lost it. Kristoff for Minnesota just played it at his own line, and here again is Salming poking it ahead. Kristoff, who's been very active on the wing for Minnesota, going in after it. Along the boards, it grabbed by Greg Smith. Then he was stopped by Farish. Farish of Toronto with Saginaw. Coming out with Boschman and Anderson. The long play for Anderson does not work. And Minnesota again. Kristoff flipped it along the boards for Barrett. He was stopped by Saginaw going in. Saginaw gets set, took a shot, and he hit the side of the net, and it bounced up on the boards. I don't know, but it hit the outside of the post. Into the corner, Tim Young. Played it back of the net. Now Barrett for Minnesota. Coming out. The pass to center ice to Young going in. Young has great speed, and he was knocked down, and there will be a penalty as Young was in almost alone, and he was pulled down from behind, and a hooking penalty coming up against the Maple Leafs.
Not a very good play on Farish's part, although Young was almost in cold, and he probably had to haul him down, but he's going to be sitting in the box. Watch this. Well, I guess he didn't have much choice in that particular situation, Bob.
He was in. I was impressed with the speed of Tim Young as he hit the blue line and just took 2 or 3 big strides, and he was away.
Absolutely. He's a funny kind of a skater, Bob. He doesn't look like he's that fast, but all of a sudden he was pulling away from Farish. And on the other hand, Farish maybe not as fast as he really is, because he's nursing an awful bad ankle. I saw him limping around the Gardens today, and I know he's not 100%.
I was on my way to Buffalo the other day and met the Leaf team at the airport when they were going to Minnesota, and I talked to Dave Farish. His ankle was very sore at the time, but he played both games, I understand, in Minnesota. And like you point out, Jerry, probably not 100%, I'm sure.
No,
not
he
near
isn't.
it.
No, I don't think he is. And he was limping quite badly after the practice this morning.
2 minutes for hooking. Time 2:31.
And he went to the Toronto bench. I guess he didn't realize he was the one that got the penalty.
Hooking. Time 2:31.
2:31, the hooking penalty against Farish, number 23 of Toronto. So again, Minnesota will have the man advantage. Hartsburg and Sargent, the 2 defensemen for Minnesota. The big line of Smith, Payne, and McAdam up front. The score is tied at 1. From the face-off, Martin couldn't clear it. For the Leafs, Boreas Salming was right behind him to move it down the ice. Now Paymont goes in to watch Sargent and Smith. Smith back of the net again for Hartsburg. Martin in for checking. Here they come. Play on the right side. McAdam coming down with Payne. McAdam up over the line. Stops over there. McAdam plays it back. Good play for Hartsburg. And his low shot was just wide. Martin gets a break with Paymont. 2 of them go to center. Martin racing in on the wing. Took a shot, had it tipped by Sargent in wide of the net. And the 2 players go slamming into the boards. And I think they'll both go off. I'll tell you, Bob Myers is calling everything he sees tonight, and I suppose that's a great thing.
Well, he's keeping a handle on the game. There's no doubt about that, Bob. But I think he's missed a couple of calls. That early Minnesota power play, Bobby Smith got hauled down a couple of times by the Toronto players, and you'd think if he was going to call it as close as he is, he wouldn't have missed those particular calls.
Well, one thing, Jerry, about the human element, there's no way you can see it all. But I can tell you that what he does see tonight, they're going, look at this.
Well, they were seeing a replay of what happened here. Martin takes Sargent in pretty hard, and Sargent takes a shot at him. And you're right, the referees have a very difficult job, and he probably didn't see a couple of things that went on that power play, although Bobby Smith had the puck, and it would be hard to imagine him not seeing it. But they can't get everything. They do a pretty darn good job.
2 minutes for roughing.
Roughing penalties.
Penalty to number 25, Terry Martin. 2 minutes for roughing. Time 3:09.
3:09, Sargent of Minnesota, Martin of Toronto, roughing penalties. Again, lots of room out there to maneuver. Minnesota with the draw, and that's Smith going back to the net. He's been held in check tonight so far. This is Tim Young coming out for Minnesota, coming in with McAdam on his right. In across the line for McAdam. He dropped it back to him, closing in. The shot is knocked away and cleared down the ice as Serra made the pad save. Now McAdam back of the net. The veteran left it there. Minnesota swinging around and coming out is Young. Gets near the line against Sittler with Smith being bumped again by Salming. They're right on top of Bobby Smith tonight. He's not allowed to move at all. And the Leafs shoot it back down inside the Minnesota line. 1-1 tie. At the 4-minute mark of the second period, the Leafs trying to stay alive in this series. A pass to the line, and Young with Smith. Here's Bobby Smith going in. He can move it around. He gave it to Young, closing in. Harpsburg in the slot. The shot, no, here it is. It's tipped wide of the net. McAdam is knocked down. Smith has it. Back to the net. Looks for Young. Over this way for Harpsburg. Took a shot. Beautiful glove save by Yuri Sera. And the Leafs again shoot it down the ice. In 5 seconds, Farish will be back on, and the Leaf fans are really alive tonight. Here's Farish. They've killed that penalty. The score tied at 1. Coming out is Eaves. Couldn't get the high pass. It's down the ice. And Farish in the corner, touching it. And icing called against Minnesota. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Period. And 5 has 28 seconds left in his penalty. As does McAdam. Minnesota offside again. They've been skating in on the wings like that, Jerry, all evening. A little stride ahead of the puck carrier.
Yes, they have. Their timing's just a little bit off. It's been helped out by the Toronto Maple Leafs play, but we're seeing two contrasting styles of play here tonight between the Maple Leafs and the North Stars. The Leafs are the old up and down the lanes, dump it in, and the Minnesota North Stars are a little bit more imaginative on offense.
Now it's played back inside the Leaf line. Around the net, they nearly lost it there. Botched it right to the right of Yuri Sera. Here's Turnbull. He's speeding in tonight. Turnbull tried to get a pass over in front, could not. Taken in on the boards by Smith. Boschman got a pass in front. Burroughs took a shot. That was away wide. The penalized players are back on. Martin races to the Leaf bench for a change. Eve dropped it back in his own zone, and here's Barrett coming out. Moved to the line to Sargent. Sargent comes in across the Maple Leaf line and shoots it back of the net, and Farish has it. Minnesota changing as the play goes on. Here's Boschman up through the middle. A pass in behind Saginaw, who got it across the line. Saginaw takes a look. Over on this side for Burroughs. He races for the net, ran into a check and went flying. A two-man break for Minnesota. This is Young going in. Tried to play it in front, put a backhander up. Sera stopped it. Then the pass is tipped away into the center ice area by Anderson. Giles, a pass ahead for Anderson of Minnesota. Dropping it back, and there's Saginaw. He couldn't clear it, but it's Boschman who put the pass behind Anderson of the Leafs. He didn't see it at all. Farish watching McCarthy. McCarthy up the line, and Ken Anderson was in offside. This is Stanley Cup 80 from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. And 13:44 left of the period. So 4 seconds to run out on the major penalties, and then they'll be back on the next stoppage of play. Bob Smith centered it. A scramble in front of it, and Ellis cleared it out across the line for Toronto. Here's Martin coming in with Salming behind him. Salming gets the puck along the boards. Still has it, comes in front, a neat play for Ellis. Ellis couldn't get a shot. Farish took a drive, and that was up wide and high. It bounces down in the crease, and there was Edwards to fall on it. Saturday and Sunday on Sports Weekend, see the Masters live from Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia.
Again, Bob, we're seeing Wilf Paymont out against Bobby Smith, and he's not a centerman, but he's played opposite Smith most of the night, and he's doing a very effective job of checking him. Smith has been tied up extremely well tonight. The only particular time when Smith's on the ice that they're not going to be able to tie him up is on the power play. There's nothing they can do about it then, but they've done an awful good job when the teams are even up.
You're telling me he hasn't been able to move at all?
Just getting a piece of him every time he moves.
There's Smith with the draw neatly for Sargent back of the net. Coming out, Smith, McAdam and Payne up front, and Sargent carries. Shoots one high on the glass. It's into the corner. That's Steve Payne. Ellis all over him. Salming going back. They hold it along the boards behind the Maple Leaf goal, and the play is called again.
Atlanta leading the New York Rangers 3-2 in the second period. Murdoch, Vale, and Houston for Atlanta. Hedberg and Maloney for the New York Rangers. And Chicago leading 1-0 over St. Louis. St. Louis loses a game and the series is over. It's in the first period.
Score tied at 1 here in Toronto. Minnesota took the lead. In the first period, the Leafs came back to tie it up. No scoring so far in this second with 13:02 remaining. Eaves got the draw, but Turnbull has it now on the boards for 5. He lost it against Barrett. Barrett tied up, and Sittler starts away. Here he comes with Hickey on his left and 5 on the right side. 5 faked the shot. One in around Eaves, centered one, the loose puck in front, and it was cleared by Kristoff, and we're getting more penalties. This time, I think Minnesota getting the game. With a score, Minnesota 1 and Toronto 1. This is Stanley Cup 80. So now the Maple Leafs have the man advantage and a chance to take the lead. Back to the line. Turnbull hooked it up on the boards, and going back is Greg Smith. Turnbull couldn't stop it. It went by him down the ice. Serra stopping it for Salming. Here's Borje Salming. Dropped it back at the goal. Hickey is on for Toronto, and here he comes. Pat Hickey up near the line. Handles it across the line to center. Good play for Paymont. Here's Will Paymont going in. Land on the shot. Had his stick lifted by Greg Smith. And Salming just couldn't stop it. It was tipped behind him, and it went back down the ice again. A minute 25 left in Barrett's penalty. 1-1 tie. The Leafs with a man advantage. Trying to put it together in this game to get the series into the fourth tomorrow. Turnbull from the left wing coming to center. Turnbull's play into Sittler. Here's Sittler jamming the brakes on. Back to Salming. Scores! Sittler made a beautiful play, and Salming walked right into it.
An unbelievable play by Daryl Sittler. He takes the pass and crosses the blue line, stops, and the Minnesota captain Paul Schmier goes flying, and he just feeds it back. Now watch the low shot into the lower right-hand corner by Salming. A beautiful shot. It was just inside the goal post, and I don't think Gary Edwards saw it until it was a little bit too late, Bob. He was screened. Watch this.
Pat Hickey skates right in front of him.
That's right. I think he was screened. And boy, this crowd is very, very vocal here tonight.
I'll tell you, I've done quite a few games here this season, and you're right. They're alive tonight. The liveliest we've heard them. And they're trying to get the Leafs riled up, and I think they've done it. It's 2-1 now, Toronto. That's Hartsburg going in for Minnesota. Another penalty coming up. And the Leaf player went down rather heavily. Minnesota, another penalty coming. A hooking call. Stanley Cup 80 will continue in a moment.
To the boards. And I think he hits his back. Well, there it is. Now watch him go into the boards. No, it was before he hit the boards that he was hurt. He went down hard as Hartsburg hooked him. He's a very tired hockey player at this point too, Bob, although he's not showing it tonight. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, he's down about 20 pounds from training camp, and he's had a sinus problem all year. He's been in and out of the hospital, but he's playing extremely well tonight.
Well, he has given the Leafs the lead here in the second period, and now they have another man advantage. It's 2-1, Toronto. The North Stars shoot it in behind the Toronto goal. Turnbull nearly lost it. Ron Wilson, number 11 on for Toronto. That's his first shift. Coming out is Sagaduk, hitting center and shooting it in. Hustling in on the other side. Drive, whistle by in front of Edwards and up into the crowd. Should the Leafs hang on to win this hockey game tonight? Game 4, scheduled tomorrow at 8:05 here in Toronto. Hope you'll join us.
Well, if they continue to play the way they are now, Bob, there's going to be another game tomorrow night. They want this game very badly, as they've shown tonight. And Joe Crozier has Sittler back out on the power play. They just took a little rest. Paymont's back on the right side and Hickey on the left side. So they got their big gunners out.
Wilson back on the defense with Turnbull for Toronto. 11 minutes and 10 seconds left of the second period. Sittler got the draw. It comes to Wilson. He moves in over the line. Wilson shoots one into the corner. Hickey will trap it, then lost it. And it's cleared to the line and by Turnbull down the ice. Wilson coming back. A minute 20 left in the Minnesota penalty. Now the Leafs line up on the power play. Here they come. Down on the right side and through center. Paymont got his pass. Paymont back for Sittler. Tipped it into the goal crease. And it's cleared into the corner. On the other side, Greg Smith against Turnbull. Turnbull ran into Smith. And it's cleared by Tim Young. All the way down the ice. 55 seconds left in the Minnesota penalty. Turnbull brought back to Wilson. Wilson starting away. A pass to the far side and Hickey going in with Sittler. Here's Hickey dropping it. It went behind Sittler, but he stopped quickly, gave it to Wilson. Hopped away from him. Penalty coming up against Wilson of Toronto as he pulled Mike Polish down. Play goes right on until the Leafs gain possession. There's the whistle. Here comes the penalty against Toronto. Live from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
2-minute penalty.
46 minutes in penalties now, 23 to each team. 10:04 left of the period. From the face-off, it comes off the boards down inside the Minnesota line. And this is Giles playing it back in his own zone. Schmier to Giles, back to Schmier. Here he comes, Paul Schmier starting out. A pass in through the middle for McCarthy. Coming in, Zanussi gets in front, and he couldn't move. By Salming, and it was tipped away. Now Salming in Toronto. Into the corner starting out. Here's Salming breaking away. The pass down to Farish hitting center. Farish shoots it in too far for Paymont. The Minnesota penalty is over. They have the man advantage now, and they're starting away on this power play. Up to center is McCarthy. Weaves his way up over the line. Ran into some traffic. Fell. Still made a play in the general direction of the net. Sargent knocked it down. Sargent went off stride, got back on his skates and goes to the corner. Now he's down again. And the Leafs clearing it off the boards down the ice, and they're playing it rather tight now. Nobody can move. That's Steve Payne around the net for Minnesota. Starting away with Bobby Smith coasting behind him. Payne going up over the line, gets away from Salming. Payne into the corner, and McAdam goes in to help him. Turnbull didn't see it and went by through the crease. Sargent in from the blue line on this power play. Minnesota, Turnbull breaking it up and losing it. McAdam centering it. It comes back to the rim of the circle and went by everybody back to the net. And the Leafs will clear it again. Hickey, one man back. Will he try it? A backhander didn't get very far. Sittler whirled and fired one. And Edwards had to be alert. 18 seconds left in the penalty to Wilson of the Leafs. Here's Bobby Smith going in with McAdam. Back to the line it comes. Hartford takes a shot. It's deflected over the glass and into the crowd.
On their power play, Bob, is get that puck back to the point, and Hartsburg's usually the guy they want to shoot it. He can really let it fly from the point, and what a find he's been, their first-round draft pick. And having lunch today with a longtime roommate of mine, the captain of the Minnesota North Stars, Paul Schmier, and he tells me that Hartsburg's been outstanding all year long, and he's a very dedicated young man. Probably, as I mentioned, overall been the best defenseman Minnesota's had this season.
Glenn Salmore was telling me after the skate this morning that he's quite happy with the sixth defenseman. I think you mentioned that earlier.
Well, they
on
work,
the show.
Bob, they work awfully hard. Paul was telling me today that every single practice they spend about 15 to 20 minutes on coming out of their own end.
There's Coach Floyd Smith, assistant coach now, high at the far side with Dick Duff, another assistant.
A lot of assistants here in Toronto.
8:12 left in the period. 8 seconds left in the Leaf penalty. They kill two with that face-off.
But when you watch these six defensemen, they try and use two defensemen regularly with the same line, and it really helps because...
Okay, Jerry, we'll get back to that in a second or two. Right in front of the net it comes. Eaves couldn't get a stick there. It was tipped away in time. Now he's after it again. The penalty is over. The team's at full strength, and the Leafs are starting away. Boschman with Wilson just out of the penalty box. shoots it in wide and goes on a change to the Leaf bench. Fred Barron for Minnesota. Pass knocked down by Salming and Saganuk, but the North Stars cleared to center ice. Parrish had his man Eve lined up and just missed him. There's Salming cruising in. Salming back of the net, centered it. Boschman after it, so is Saganuk. Saganuk again, centered it back. Here's Anderson, and that's blocked. Anderson couldn't pick it up on the rebound, and it's cleared out over the line by Kristoff. Phillips back in again. Saganuk for Anderson, the pass behind him. He set it up for Boschman. He was stopped. Eves for Minnesota. Couldn't move it up. Saganuk with the goal post. And here's Burrows with a shot. And that's deflected into the crowd. And Saganuk can really shoot him. And now they're going at it. Saganuk throwing a stiff right hand into Kristoff. And likely more major penalties.
Bob, that puck was in the net, I think. Saganuk let the wrist shot fly, and it was in the upper the upper right-hand corner of the goal. I'm darn sure that was in.
You know, Jerry, I think you might have something, because the darn thing took such a crazy bounce. I hadn't seen it come back that quickly, that particular way.
There's no doubt in my mind that that was a goal.
Well, they're busy on the truck right now, winding it back. Don't worry. We'll get another look at it. Ronnie Harrison, our director, as soon as he gets it straightened away, we'll have a look at it now. Watch very carefully. Top right-hand side. Saganuk with the shot.
There it goes, Bob.
I don't know. That could be the crossbar. I think it hit the crossbar.
I don't know.
Yes,
Watch
crossbar.
This. Watch.
Number 28, Steve Kristoff.
Right on
it is the crossbar. Okay. I take it all
That's
back.
that red thing across the top, Jerry.
Well, from up here, the way the puck came out,
I know.
it looked like it was in just underneath. A tremendous shot by Rocky Saganuk, and that's what he does so well. He gets it away very quickly, and he has an extremely hard wrist shot.
5 minutes fighting. Time 12:56.
Well, as you know, Jerry, that has happened sometimes before, where the puck is in and out so quickly. It's very difficult from our angle. We're up so high, but thank goodness for the replays.
Well, that's right, and there's another situation where the referee does such a good job. He was right there on top of it, and the goal judge as well. And I guess I probably should have known that it wasn't in if he was that close and didn't call it, but it really looked like it was in from up here.
Well, my initial reaction was the post, or the crossbar, as you call it. Here's the goal judge, by the way, with his daffodil. This is Daffodil Day in Toronto. He's alert. Right? I got it. 5, pushed one back in front. And it's grabbed by Ken Anderson coming to center. Anderson up over the line, and he has McCarthy with him. Anderson gets set, played it back to Giles, and his shot is stopped by Serra, who moved beautifully, covering the far side, and Vive has a break. Giles coming back, Vive going in, knocked down, and there'll be a penalty on the play. Let me tell you now, Gary Edwards, the goaltender, got the worst of that beating, and I believe he has been injured this time. He's rolling around, obviously in pain, as the trainer comes on for Minnesota to have a look at him. But nevertheless, we are getting a Minnesota penalty on that break on Vive.
Watch this. Now, Giles gets a penalty, but he really shouldn't. Vive is leaning so hard here when he cuts in. Well, no, I'm wrong again, Bob. He got tripped.
This camera is killing you tonight, Jerry.
Those replays are doing me in. But
watch his left foot, Vive's left skate.
Giles kicks it out from under him here. It looked like he was just leaning so hard that he fell over. And watch what happens to Gary Edwards here. Giles runs into him. It appears to me that it's his knee. We're looking at it from another angle up high here. He goes into the goalpost. It's his knee.
Left knee.
His left knee.
Time 13:23.
It's a tripping penalty.
For tripping.
Bob, he's had an outstanding night. If they lose him, it's going to be a very tough loss for the Minnesota North Stars.
So Giles is gone for tripping. And they're still taking a look at Gary Edwards as now you look at Gilles Meloche. That's not bad for backup goaltending, let me tell you.
Well, he's a tremendous goalie, but this type of situation that they're in, Bob, it's very difficult for the goalie to come in at this point in the game. Minnesota down 2-1. He doesn't get a chance to warm up, and all of a sudden he's thrown into the fire.
In a power play situation.
In a power play situation.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto.